Welcome back to another Overwatch Coach VOD review. Today we're VOD reviewing a Brigitte at Diamond 3. And it's going to be on Gibraltar, which should make things kind of interesting. So let's dig into the introduction. Hey guys, I've been hard stuck Diamond 1 on all roles for some time, and I finally got a game I would want to get reviewed. I played Brig on Gibraltar. This was a Diamond 3 lobby, PC EU. Wants tips on dying less as Brig. Every time you died, you felt it could have been avoided, and then you provide your name and the replay code. So, all right, let's see what we've got here. So this is our Brig, and so the first thing that I'm noticing here is you are not up against dive. So I question the choice of Brig from the get-go. I get you don't really know that yet. However, you could be standing up here and scouting out what the enemy is running if they so choose to reveal themselves, which it doesn't look like they would. You probably only would have saw that person and that's it, which is, I'm guessing, Ash. But I'm not a big fan of Brig when the enemy team isn't running dive. When the enemy team starts running dive, that's where Brig excels. She can kind of struggle even then if the dive is coordinated enough. Because if you got like a Tracer, a Genji, and a Winston all of a sudden hitting you all at once, you're going to melt regardless. Most of the time, though, the dive isn't that coordinated, and then you can make it work regardless of what's going on. But here, I don't see it. You're just going to get... If the enemy team is intelligent and doesn't struggle, they're going to be shooting you from far away, and they're going to make you pay for not being able to close the distance. Unless your team starts getting picks and chaos ensues and yada yada. I don't know that that's going to happen either, though, because unless the Widowmaker starts landing a bunch of shots, or the Genji is, you know, God tier at Genji or something like that. But in terms of playing Brig on this map, generally speaking, the one thing I do like that I'm seeing here is that you're playing next to an Ana. So you bodyguard the Ana and you bodyguard the cart as Brig. And that's where your primary value is going to come from here. So that's basically what I'll be looking the most from out of you, playing behind your tank. Not frontlining, using your shield intelligently, making sure that whip shot value is there because that's your only ranged attack against this. So if you can land your whip shots and kind of both stay near either your Ana or your tank, it's going to be kind of situational. I would say probably for starters, you're probably going to want to stay by the cart, because the cart's probably going to have the Ana, unless the Ana goes with the team, in which case you're going to have to be the cart pusher. I don't know, it'll be interesting to kind of see how your team plays with this. But that's also going to kind of determine how you need to play. So let's dig into this and see what we get.
One. Attackers incoming. Escort the payload.
The enemy is here.
Shields under fire. Placing shield.
Gotta block those.
Raising shield.
All right.
The enemy is here.
So you see the rock coming. Not sure why you don't block that. Don't use shield bash to close distance on a tank unless the tank is really low. The Ana just topped you off. If you're in swing range, smack around the Sigma a little bit. But I'm not a fan of shield bashing into the front line like this. This to me is sloppy. Now, okay, he's in his shift mode. You should be smacking him here, not holding up your shield to him, because nothing's going to be coming from him. One, you could be resting your shield. But 2, this is the time to whip shot him, to smack him around, because that's not going to give him extra HP if you're playing Brig. Okay, you got the whip shot off, but it took a really long time. Too many health packs going, or armor packs going to the Genji there. I think 2 would have been fine. You're frontlining here. Okay, good whip shot on the Bastion. Okay, that's another rock you needed to block. You should never eat a Sigma rock as Brig. You should pride yourself on blocking those when given the opportunity, because that's a whole ability just gone. But you're just eating them. And frankly, I'm a little surprised he's not killing you off of that. I think they removed his 2-hit combo. So I don't think he can 2-hit combo on those anymore after the latest patch, but... yeah, this isn't something to be chasing for you here, but okay. Genji cleaned him up. As far as you go, just stay on the cart in that situation. Don't go chasing him. Let other people deal with that, or just let him just flat out get away.
My ultimate is almost ready.
Unless you're playing behind like a tank that can, you know, do the heavy lifting. So yeah, you're frontlining here. This is extremely dangerous. Like, look where your team is and look where you are. You should be where that Anna is right now, just bodyguarding her, bodyguarding the cart. There's nothing for you here, really. Now, it looks like you're about to pop your ultimate. I'm on, yeah. Come on. That's weird that the, okay. Anyway, okay, so you pop your ult. You're doing this to save yourself, and your team's not getting any of this radius. So at the moment, this is a completely, oh shit, I'm too far forward. I'm in trouble. Let me give myself a 700 HP bigger shield and extra, what is it, 100 armor, and then try to get out. Keep hitting F11. All right. So yeah, this is dangerous. So, did the ult keep you alive? Yeah. Did your team get any value from it beyond just them losing one of their supports who's too far forward and feeding? No. That's all they got from that, was that you stayed alive. You didn't even end with extra armor. So all that did was prolonged your life. Not, oh, it looks like the Genji might have got a little bit of armor. So okay, there's that. But other than that, not a good ult.
Helping you recover.
So you shield bashed to move forward again. Save shield bash for 2 things. One, if you've got a low HP enemy near you, you can use that to either close the distance or try to finish him off, similar to like a Lucio boop. Otherwise, if I'm you, I save shield bash to get out of sticky situations, kind of like the Moira fade. That's what I would do. You're using it to like close vast distances, and I don't really feel like you're getting good value off of your shield bash. Because like right here, you're now frontlining for your team, and I personally would not want to be frontlining in front of a Sigma. So as soon as the Sigma gets his shield up and I see I don't have anybody around me really, I'm shield bashing away from that and letting the Orisa reset up a front line, and then either getting to the cart, the Ana, or the Orisa, and it's all going to be situational on what you're seeing there. And then there's another rock you didn't eat.
Let me take care of that for you.
If Sigma were capable of 2-hit comboing you, you'd have died at least twice. And then you did it again, so you closed distance with shield bash. You could have ate that rock, but you didn't. So, when Kiriko ults, right here, this is where, if it's me, I shield bash back around this corner, and then it should be full retreat when Kiriko ults, because you guys just ate the Sigma ult. Everybody's low. This is not a fight that you're gonna win. And then on top of that, you've got 2 armor packs that need to go out. You got one of them out. But frankly, that should have went to the Ana and the Orisa. So, being a little bit more aware of what's going around to your team would have been beneficial there. But ultimately, though, I don't think that was a winnable fight. But if there was any chance of winning that needed to come from you. Okay, so hold on here. So you go frontlining in with the Orisa, and you've got an Ana and Spawn, and your DPS aren't engaged in the fight yet. So looking at that, I'll just pose the question. Do you think that's where you should be right now without your main heal and your DPS are a little bit behind all of you yet? Okay, when he's in that, you either need to be swinging at him or just backing away, because in this case I would back away, because he's got his whole team behind, or at least a good portion of his team behind him. You got to look out for Mei now, because Mei could ice wall you and segregate you away from your team, trap you, and you're not running a lot of damage to be breaking a Mei ice wall quickly enough where you might die. I think she tried to do that to you, but looks like she's just screwed it up. Okay, good. You ate a rock finally. Good. Save your Genji. So I would probably be playing off to the right side of the cart, playing on that angle. That way that Genji would have been supported a little deeper in, because he had to basically do a full retreat to get heals. Okay, so she ice walled again. I don't know if you're aware of that or not, but you're currently, I'm guessing, trapped unless she screwed it up again. She did, kind of. What? Oh, she's trying to isolate the Ana. But this is not the way to do that. So she basically screwed it up again. Okay, so you're going up against a bad Mei is essentially what's going on here. And that's saving you from poor positioning again. Because if this... Let's see. Let's rewind for just a second here. Let's watch this from the Mei's perspective once, and then I'll just kind of show you what should be happening. Okay, if I'm that Mei, I'm playing on the cart behind the shield or pretty close to that. So I'm already looking at you guys over there. Now, yeah, she's got the right idea, but I think the cart's actually kind of what's keeping you safe here. And then, I'm a little bit more curious on this next one, though. What she sees. See, I feel like she's trying to isolate you even there, but she, like, I don't know if they're just screwing it up or what. I'm actually not sure what they're trying to do there. But, what I would have done... Get it to the point where they use it. So, alright, that's pretty close. So, if I'm her, I wait for you to go a little deeper, which you're going to do. Like, right here. And then ice wall like that. And then all of a sudden the Orisa's cut off. And then it's just you and maybe the Genji. And then that's it. And then, you know, try to get an easy pick off of either you or the Genji at that point. But you got to be careful when there's a Mei playing Brig. It's the same principle as being a Reinhardt, kind of, because like you can be isolated pretty quickly. And then at that point, the whole team will just focus you down and try to kill you.
I'm taking damage.
Your fate.
So, alright, digging back into what you're doing. So, okay, I think you ate that rock, and then the Orisa's ulting, so you smack away at the Sigma, but I'm okay with a couple smacks on the Sigma just to get your healing going, but this Sigma's not going to die because there is a Kiriko here. So what are the two things you can do to prevent this Kiriko from being valuable? One, you now have a giant shield. You could be blocking this healing. Two, you've got shield bash. You could close the distance and start smacking away at this Kiriko. And when the Kiriko's got to defend herself, oh, she's even hitting her E. If you put up your shield, that doesn't affect the Sigma. But the second you force this Kiriko to start defending herself, the Sigma's not going to get healed. And all of a sudden now he's got to deal with a frontlining Orisa that's already through his shield. The Genji's there, the Ana's there, and at that point it'll just be Mei and him. However, all you're doing is farming your stats, smacking away at Sigma, and then he's just getting healed, and he's just going to eat all this damage for nothing. So you should be paying attention to Kiriko here. See, and she timed that E perfectly. That did no damage to him. That was a very good Kiriko play, considering. See, now you killed him, but look what value they got out of it between then and then. Also, for as good of a Kiriko value as they got off of that, that Kiriko should have went up here. And then suddenly you can't do anything to her or teleport up here because I think somebody was coming up here at the time. Yeah, I think it was Ash. They could have just teleported up here and then you wouldn't have been able to do anything. So that was borderline good Kiriko play, but then it got real sloppy real quick and then they died. So again, like, I don't know. It's like, it's hard to describe because it's like, you should have been able to prevent some of that value, but then the Kiriko should have got out. So it's like, I don't know, it's sloppy on everybody's parts here. So, alright, I like the shield bash in that instance, but then you try to do a whip shot. Don't even bother with the whip shot, just smack him around until he's dead. So, when the Mercy's around, save your whip shot for when they try to res it, because if you land the whip shot at a correct angle, you'll cancel the res, similar to like a Lucio boop. You just got to make sure you're at the right angle because she was right next to the wall, so if you're over kind of where you're at, you're just going to whip shot her right into the wall and it won't matter. But if you take like a side angle, then that's where you get the distance and it won't, you know, it'll cancel it. You ate another rock. But yeah, you did not look prepared for that. And then because you ate the rock, he was able to quickly kill you. So that was pretty sloppy there. Okay, good. You ate that one at least. However, where is your team? Because it looks like you're just frontlining right now. You are frontlining. So you've already been here for a few seconds. Look where your team is. You're off on your own here. This Sigma, okay, this Sigma is bad too because I don't know what he's hitting shift for here. He's not gonna gain anything from that. So in this case, you could smack him around a little bit, but against a better team, they would punish this. They should be punishing this.
I'll lead the way.
Okay, so since you landed your whip shot on him and he's retreating a bit, which is baffling to me, but because he's doing that, you as well should be backing up because you should not be here right now. Yeah, so you're shield bashing to get even deeper into their front line. That's not good. Yeah, again, you should not be here. You're way overextending right now. Like, you see, you have 90 HP on your shield. That's essentially like 1 or 2 shots from something, and you're then at that point having no shield with 72 HP. Like, you should not be here. Okay, we're ulting. Nobody's around you but Genji, I think. Well, I feel bad for the Sigma, because the Sigma needs some form of help, but I honestly don't feel like this should be working at this rank. I feel like once you start hitting Diamond, they should be able to punish this kind of overextending, and they're just not. It's concerning to me that they're not able to punish that. I will say one thing, at this point, it's very clear that this team does not support their Sigma very well, and the Sigma does not possess the ability to keep you in check. So because of that, I will say keep doing this. In other games, when you play against people who play their heroes and their roles better, do not be doing this. This is an example of poor enemy enabling bad habits. So you got to be careful here, though, because this should not be happening. Okay, that's good, though, that you went for the Kiriko as soon as the Kiriko showed up. That was correct. Okay, good. You ate the rock. Yeah, that's... Considering the circumstances of this game, I guess I'm alright with that. But typically speaking, though, you should be getting punished way more than you are in this circumstance.
Hey, I'll cover you.
See, I've covered this in other videos, but I always say with support, there's a division of labor, and when you play Kiriko and Mercy, it gets muddy. Because Kiriko and Mercy are like two kind of pseudo main healers, but it depends on how they get played. Typically speaking, Mercy benefits from pocketing the DPS. So if you have a Mercy who is doing that, which is really what she should be doing, and you're the Kiriko in that situation, you need to be playing like a main healer and really paying attention and kind of staying with your tank. That's not always how Kiriko is played, though. And I'm betting this Kiriko isn't really fitting her role or understanding her role on this team, and I think that's what's creating some trouble. That's just what I'm thinking, without having really paid too close attention to, you know, what's actually happening on the enemy side of things. I'm thinking that's what's going on here. So right now you're taking unnecessary damage. You're too far forward. You should be using cover from the cart here. I would not be walking into this, especially now that Kiriko is ulting. Okay, I like the cover that you took there. Okay, we're ulting. I think I'm alright with this ult. Yeah. That ult I was fine with. That definitely helped you guys just secure the last fight. You got the win. Or the round win.
0-3. Switching sides. Initiating match. Ready for bat. 5, 4.
So, playing Brig on defense, I'm not a big fan of that. Unless you know, or they've shown that they're willing to already play dive. Because I feel like it's going to force you to play out of position to get any decent value out of Brig. I don't recommend just coming out in matches as Brig. I suggest playing a different off support, and then when you see the dive coming, swap to Brig. I feel like Brig is a character to swap to and not to just be. I feel like this is where you're probably going to show weakness in positioning, because you're going to try to get value swinging around the mace.
1. Attackers incoming. Stop the payload.
There are enemies coming. Abort! Sending care your way.
So one thing you can try to do positioning wise to get value. Now your team is playing way super far forward. I don't like this. This right here, this I don't like. But one thing sometimes I'll try to do, if I am playing Brig from the start, is I'll be down here and I'll look for a whip shot, and then I'll try to do it through the door and then retreat back up here, and then that gets my healing going. This is, okay, this right here, to me, screams a team of new players that have not played Overwatch 1 and don't know anything about this map. Because what you'd like to see is them playing where you are, up here, somewhere in this vicinity right here is where I'd like to see your team. And then as the cart gets to about right somewhere in this vicinity right here, then you circle back around, you jump down, and then you pick the fight in the tunnel, or kind of like in this upward area where you've got a high ground advantage again. That's how this map should normally be played. So why you guys are playing this far up is a little baffling to me. Only time I ever really advocate playing this far up is if you guys are like really dominating them from high ground and like all respect for the enemy team is being lost. Or if it's like in the overtime stages and they don't have very far to push the cart, you know, that those kind of circumstances, but that's obviously not the case here. So this is kind of weird to me. Just smack her because you can't block. Yeah, so be careful on those whip shots. Like that whip shot was pointless because even if you land it, then all of a sudden you push her further away from you, and you don't want a range situation going into that. You want to just be able to smack her around until one of you has killed the other one, because that's about all you really can do. The only way you would want a whip shot is if you're close to being able to escape and go behind cover and you're kind of losing the battle. But clearly you weren't losing that battle. But that whip shot almost caused you to lose it, so be careful on that. So yeah, I would where you're at right now is kind of where I would be camping. You could kind of hold your shield up and peek around the corner that way, and then as soon as you see like the tank or somebody that to whip shot, you could whip shot them through the door here, and then potentially do some healing to your team through that. The only thing is, based on where they're playing versus where you're playing, I don't think they're going to get anything, because I would assume you would just retreat back to where you had been standing before. But I don't think that range would hit them there. So it's, I don't know, it's one of these things where it's like, your team's gonna probably force you to either play in a spot you don't want to play at, or you gotta kind of yell at your team to play in a better spot here. 'Cause it's like, you guys are so far up on their spawn. Yeah, so this is just too far forward. I feel like you're only playing that far forward because of where your team is. However, think of it this way. You had to, like, overly frontline to make that Brig work, where if you were playing like Zen or Lucio, you could have been wall riding around or playing further back, and then possibly surviving and getting more value there, because you really just weren't able to do anything. Careful on over health packing people that don't really need it. Once Winston's armor starts to go, that's where I would have been throwing that pack, not like pre-throwing it. Yeah, so way too far forward. You've got a bad habit of using Brig's ult to save yourself from poor positioning. It didn't work there. You need to fall back. Nothing for you here. Now your other healer. Okay, so with your other support dying, there's no possible way a Brig can heal this, because one, you shouldn't be Brig anymore. There's nothing. You're just not getting enough value. They're not diving. You're not getting many mace swings. It's just, there's nothing for you here. And then on top of that, Winston is going to melt to an Orisa. Winston's not the play here either, unless this Genji starts diving with him, which is clearly not happening. So for one, all of you need to be retreating until the Kiriko is back. That's number one. Number two, one of the Winston or the Brig should be swapping. Potentially both, frankly. But this is why you guys are struggling. This team comp is atrocious. Your tank just clearly fed. So yeah, at this point, you shield bash to get out. That's good. All of you need to just get out. The DPS need to get out. Make sure nobody dies here. Kiriko wasted her E ability. What are you doing? Why are you going in? Nope. You're not a tank. Stop frontlining like this. See what I mean when I say Brig is not a tank? She just ulted and look how fast she died. Brig's new ultimate is not that good to just be warranting picking Brig just to play Brig. I really was excited for Brig's ultimate rework, and I'm actually very disappointed at what we ended up getting. It's not that good. Frankly, I actually kind of like the older ultimate versus the new one, if I'm being honest. Brig's new ultimate isn't that great. And it does not warrant the pick rate I've been seeing from people playing Brig. It just doesn't. It's not that good of an ult. So with that being said, don't treat her like you can frontline with her and tank with her, because that's a great example right there that isn't the case. You still got to play Brig the same way you did before. Alright, that was a good shield bash and a good whip shot. And then good, you kept your Cassidy from the sticky nade from dying to that, so that was good. So I'm noticing you're not, I don't think you're pinging.
I'll be waiting if you want to.
So what I would have been doing here is, one, I would have pinged the Echo. And then I would have started to, I'm waiting for the right spot. Right there. I would have been pinging up there for the Mercy. Try to get attention on them. like the whip shot on the Mercy to kind of put her into an exposed spot, but then you fell, and that was a little on the sloppy side. Yeah, see, this is overextending. Once the Mercy got to there, you lost her. You should never have dropped. Okay, Kiriko saved you. That does not mean keep going in. You're gonna feed here. And then on top of that, the Doomfist died. If you played safer, you probably could have prevented that. Or the Kiriko could have prevented that because she probably had to make a choice between saving you or the Doomfist, and for whatever reason she chose you. If I was that Kiriko, I'd have chose the Doomfist. Yeah, I'll take that. That was an interesting use of Briggs' ult, and I think that actually is a good showcasing of what Briggs' ult can do. That was kind of a cleanup scenario, and it worked.
What's up? Hey. Oh.
I don't know what all that was about.
Here, take this.
A little less waving and a little bit more good positioning, and that Genji doesn't die. And just to be clear, you are off healer. The Genji and the Cassidy are your responsibility to keep up. Where was the armor packs going to your DPS there? Okay, good. You shield bashed out of the Orisa ult. That's good. Yep, you gotta just get out. It's a lost fight. All the way out. All the way out. Good. Armor packs are going to the DPS. You could try to get to them. Looks like you're gonna try to contest the cart. Not the worst idea. You should be able to stall this cart enough for your tank to get back. Okay, good. Armor packs are going to the Genji. That's what I like to see. Yep. Kiriko ultimate with Brig is a strong combination. I actually really like playing Brig into Kiriko ult because that rapid fire mace is a very fun thing. However, you just got to be careful because you feel like a god when that mace is swinging that fast, and you just got to make sure that you're not melting in the process because, again, Brig's not a tank, so she dies pretty quickly. And then you think like, oh, okay, well, I'm self-healing while I'm whacking them people and all that. And you just got to be careful of that. It obviously didn't happen here, but, just a word of warning to be careful on that one. But yeah, playing Brig with the Kiriko, that combination can be a lot of fun.
What's up?
So that little interaction didn't need to happen. Your team's so far back, nobody's taken damage. It was kind of just like a little feed on both Briggs' ends right there. And I mean, I don't know. In my opinion, that sort of thing didn't need to happen, but whatever. I mean, it fed the Brig ult a little bit. It fed your ult a little bit. You're both going to be ulting this fight anyway. It, kind of a nothing interaction in the grand scheme of it all, but...
Shields under fire. Rally to me.
Good stun, like the stun. Another good stun that I like. Focus on the Brig. Good. Yeah. So, you guys gotta get out here. As soon as you saw that Mercy pocketing the Cassidy, that's time to get out. We're playing so close to the enemy spawn here. Yeah, in a case like that, it felt more like you were a victim to your team's poor positioning. I got the feeling there that you did not want to be that close to the enemy spawn. So I'm not harping on you necessarily overextending, because that's at least the feel that I got from that. Yeah, he tried to contest it as long as he could, wasn't there.
Special delivery. 60 seconds. Shield buckling. Here, take this. Pulling out my my ultimate is ready.
Shield bash out. Oh, wait a minute. Did you not have it? Oh, I see what happened. You try. Well, okay. When you're on that side, you would have had to have shield bashed into the enemy team, which would have put you in a rough spot anyway. But you tried to shield bash to the outer edge of the far end of the circle, and then on top of that, you hit the Orisa doing it, so that stopped your movement anyway. But I don't think you would have made it regardless. If that's me, okay, because you're about to do it right here. So if this is me, what I'm trying to do is either shield bash to there or to there. One of these two doorways would have been the safer route. And I think you would have easily gotten there with the shield bash. So I don't know. Keep that in mind for next time you find yourself in an Orisa ult in this spot. At this point, you're just trying to stall and do what you can. Make sure all the armor packs are going out. I would have liked to have seen your armor pack usage be more there. You got to get all that healing out. Even if it ends up getting wasted, just get them out, trying to get as much value out of your character as you can there. That might have saved that fight if you did that, maybe. I mean, it's hard to say, but definitely could have at least stalled it a little bit more, and who knows what would have happened at that point. Okay, so again... I'm not forcing Brig on my team if I'm you here. I would be either Lucio or Zen, frankly, or Kiriko. I think Kiriko would have been a fine pick here too, even though there's really not a whole lot to be cleansing. I think Zen, frankly, is the better pick here just because they're not running a shield, really, and you'd be able to pepper them from afar, put a Discord orb, that kind of a thing. I think Zen would have been a better pick here. Good whip shot, though. It's like deja vu. The Brig is trying to contest you up there again. Yeah, see what I'm saying? Like, the healing just stops from you after a while, and it's not anything that you're doing wrong. It's a limitation of the character, and it's why it's not the greatest of picks. Okay, you double shield bash and knock each other out. That's good you were able to get away from that before the ice wall, because that would have isolated you, so that was good.
Here, for you.
However, if you're a Zenyatta, you don't even have to worry about that, because you wouldn't have been there to begin with. Just saying. Good whip shot. Okay, good. You didn't get trapped by the ice wall again, so that's good. It wasn't that great of an ice wall though, but you know, you didn't like get trapped by it, so that's good. Good.
Fired up right now.
Round 3. Complete. Score 3.
Hey,
Ready for battle. 5, 4, 3, 1. Attackers incoming.
buckling. I'm on the payload.
So if I'm you and I'm seeing what I'm seeing, I stick to the cart, stick to your Ana, let the Ana do the main heavy lifting on the supporting side of things, keep her safe, keep the cart moving, and make it so that they have to contest it, because you don't have to push it that far. So as long as you're on the cart, they gotta respect that they gotta play on the cart here.
I'm under fire. Looking better already.
Little too quick on the armor packs to the tank. They were anti'd. Again, you should be more focused on the Genji and the Hanzo. Let the Ana worry about the tank. I'm also not a fan of Junker Queen here against what you're up against. But if they're good at it, I'm sure they'll make it work. So
Hold much longer.
I would have been swinging at the Ana, not the Bastion. And because of the... So, alright, two things. One, your target priority there is sloppy. But number two, I don't go beyond this corner. Not unless my team is all engaging with you. But I don't keep going in here. I stay exactly where you're at right now. This is where I continue to stay. I do not do this. This I do not do. Now, the only thing that kind of saves you here is you saw he just got out of tank mode. But you got to get on this Ana, because this Bastion ain't going to die with the Ana next to him. You got to try to pick her off. And then you'd probably have to go for the Mega and then try to get the Bastion. But he's going to have tank mode again. So I'm not sure what you're trying to accomplish here. That's feeding, in my opinion, because there wasn't much for you there. It would have been okay, I guess, if you would have taken a couple swings on him and then backed off just to get your healing going. Like that, I guess I would have been fine with, especially if you had used your whip shot and it was on cooldown. But yeah, I don't just full engage that Bastion like that. That was like suicide to me. So whole team's dead. You gotta wait and regroup here.
I'm under attack. I can protect you.
Now you couldn't land a whip shot just to get your healing going, okay, which is good. You do that and then you retreat. That right there, that little instance of what you did, that's how I would have been playing pretty much this whole time. This I would not have been doing. Yeah, that you got yourself killed there. You tried the front line of tank and you died.
Humanity is
Okay, now we're finally going a different support.
repairing your cellular makeup. Ready to deploy.
I'll let this play out so everybody can watch how this ends, but not gonna do too much on the coaching end of this because this wasn't meant for a Moira VOD review. You had your Wraith, or your teleport. I keep wanting to call Moira's teleport Wraith. But you could have used that to get away from it. From Bob there. Yeah, that swap came way too late, though. You should have swapped a long time ago, in my opinion. But, okay, one, Swap. Counterpick. That's number one. Brig was never really meant for this particular game. In my opinion, there just wasn't enough dive and enough use cases to need or warrant the Brig. Number two is your positioning. Felt like you were frontlining way too much. And then number three, alt use, and this kind of goes to positioning because it felt like you were using it to save yourself a lot. And then number four, I'm just going to say armor packs. There were times where you needed to throw them out and you weren't really. And then there were times like you're overusing them for your tank and your DPS needed them and that sort of a thing. We kind of covered that as we saw it. So hope this was helpful to you. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.